Hello Sewmates, welcome back to Sew with Adeshola. In today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful gown with shoulder ruche. If this is something you're interested in, keep on watching. And also to our returning subscribers, thank you very much. God bless you. So guys, I'll be making use of 3.5 yards of this beautiful Ankara fabric, and for my pattern paper I had gone ahead to rule out my lines, my starting line, bust line, underbust, waistline and my full length for the upper bodies. So let's get right into it. Now I'll be starting from the starting point, which is my shoulder line. I'll be taking my shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 over there. Then I'll go ahead and add 13 inches to it for the sleeve, so which makes it 20.5 on that particular line. I hope you get it. Then I'll go ahead and mark out my neckline, which is 3 inches. I'll be making use of 3 inches by 3 inches, 3 by 3 for the neck width and the neck depth. Then go ahead and connect it together like this. I hope you get that. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to take our shoulder slant. So at that 20.5 point, you come down by 1 inch and then connect it straight, slanted rather, to your neckline. I hope you get that. Now from that shoulder slant, I'll be coming down by 9 inches, which is actually the length to my bust line. You can see, so that's going to give me 9 inches. After which I'm going to come to my underbust line and then mark 20.5 inch minus 3 inches. So I'm going to be removing 3 inches from the normal length, from the normal measurement. You get it? So I'm just going to connect it to that sleeve opening right there. I hope you get it, so it can give us that shape, because this pattern is going to be divided into 2 actually. So on the underbust line, I'm going to divide my underbust divided by 4, which gave me 7. Then also on my waistline, I have my waistline divided by 4, which gave me 7. Then on the full length, you'll be dividing your hip measurement by 4. And after you've divided by 4, connect the 3 lines together and it's going to give you something like this. Now we have the upper part and the lower part. You know, this dress is divided into like 3 sections, 3 parts. The upper part, which is the ruche area, the middle, and the gathers at the down part. Now after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to draw out my neckline. This circle is not the normal neckline that we'll be using, so I'll be drawing out my neckline. So just make a V down to your underbust for the front neckline, but for the back neckline, I don't want my back neckline to be that deep, so I stopped at my bust line. You can see, then I went ahead to cut it. So for the second section, just come up by 2 inches from that full line, then slant it like that. I don't know how better to put it, but I hope you understand it. So that's going to give us our basque effect. So but because I'll be making use of this pattern paper for both the front and back, I'll be cutting out the back piece first. So I added 1 inch at the shoulder for the ruche. Then I added 1 inch at the zipper for the zipper allowance and ½ inch all the way around. I hope you understand that. So now that we are done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be removing my pattern paper to cut out the front piece. So now I'll just go ahead and cut out the front neckline, and that's just it. Then I'll go and cut out my fabric just like I did for the back. I'm going to add 1 inch at the shoulder and ½ inch all the way around the other part, and also for the second section, which is the basque. So I went ahead to also add my lining. I forgot to actually show us that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to remove the pattern paper and then go ahead and cut an interface for the front neckline. And to do this, just cut out a piece of fabric that is about 1.5 inch wide or about 2 inches wide and has the same length as the neckline. I hope you can see that it has the same length or a bit even longer, so that when you sew it, there won't be any shortage. So I'll just go ahead and sew it with 1/2 inch, then hem it with my hemming gum. As you can see, I've gone ahead to do that. I'm just showing that to us right now. Now the next thing we are going to do is to place the two pieces of the front piece on each other so that we can have a closure at that middle. So I'm just going to place it on each other with 2 inches. As you can see, just look at what I'm doing and go ahead and do yours, then pin it down with a pin. I hope you get what I'm doing right there. So after pinning it down, then the next I'm going to do is I'm going to be measuring the neckline to see that even after taking out my 1 inch for the ruche, won't the neckline be too deep for me. So that's just for me basically. Now the next thing we're going to do is to gather that down part like so. You know, our upper body is like that, is gathered. So just gather it both sides. You know, our front has 2 pieces so that it will fit in your under bust. If your under bust is 7 inches, add 1 inch to it for sewing allowance, or 1/2 inch, which makes 7.5. So what you have, you must have, must be enough for your basque. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to place the middle to the middle. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do right there. So just place it on each other like that and ensure that your gather is on the same measurement with what you have at your under bust. Yes, so that's just it. Just arrange it with each other, arrange it like that, and then you go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch. So after sewing the fabric to it like that with 1/2 inch, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be covering that part with my my lining. I don't want the rough edges to be showing, so I'm just going to place it like that. Look at how I placed my lining. Then I'm going to pin it down as well and sew with 1/2 inch on it. And after I'm done, I'm going to bring it back to us. This is what we are going to have. You can see, so I went ahead to iron it. Now we are done with the front piece. Let's go to the back piece. Now for the back piece, as you can see, like that, we also have 2 pieces because we cut it on fold. Now I'd also gone ahead to add my interface to the back piece as well, and then taking 1 inch for the zipper. So we are just going to gather that as well, like we did for the front, and then sew the gather to our basque area. So just go ahead and gather it and then sew it like that. Then you do the same thing you did for the front. Place your lining and then cover it so that we won't have the rough edges, the rough parts of the sewing. Then on your sleeve, you go in and sew in your sleeve, the sleeve opening with 1/2 inch. So just go ahead and do that. And after I'm done, this is what I had. I'd gone ahead to fix a zipper as well. So I already opened a little bit so that I can use that to join my gathers at the down part, as you can see. Now the next thing we're going to do is to place the front and back piece right side facing each other like that. Then we are just going to sew 1 inch at the shoulder. We're going to sew 1 inch like that so that we can place in our strip, or yes, it's a strip, I don't know, our rope like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, then place in, fix my rope like that. So I'm trying to show you to us how it's going to look when we do that on both sides. So after I'm done with that, I'll just go ahead and join it at the side with my with my body measurement. I'm going to take my body measurement and then use it to sew it like that. So just go ahead and do yours as well. I hope you understand. And after we are done with that, this is what we have. I'd gone ahead to fix the rope, you can see, so you can adjust it like that. I hope you understand that part. Now the next thing we're going to do is take the middle of your front basque and notch it to give you the middle. And now after notching it to give us the middle, we are going to be sewing in our gathers, the down part, which is a third section rather. So I went ahead to take 30 inches for the length of my gathers, because I want it to be long, to be a bit longer, because I will be wearing it to church actually. So but if you don't want yours to be as long as that, just minus what you have on the upper bodies from your actual measurements. If you want it to be 40 inches and your upper bodies is like 18 inches or 20 inches already, remove that, and then that's going to be the length for your down part. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to place the middle of the down part to each other, but before I do that, I'm going to gather that one as well. Gather it and then hem the base. So that's just basically all for this tutorial, and then I'll bring to us the final look. And this is what I have as a final look. You can see it's looking so cool and looking so nice. Even me, I was actually feeling myself. I was loving it. I loved the way it looked on me, so cool and pink, like it was giving. So that brings us to the end of this tutorial. You can see mine is a bit longer because I want to wear it to church. So if you've gained something, please kindly click on subscribe button, like, comment and share, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.